Now we can watch the video, scientifically calculating whether Doug is actually bad at 2D platformers by Cut Cafe. Now the question is, can I beat this game before I finish watching a video about whether I'm good at 2D platformers? Because the times of this coincidentally line up perfectly. Thank you very much to Cut Cafe. I'll link video.
DougDoug is a challenge-based Twitch streamer, whose most well-known joke is probably either rigged, the believers versus the doubters, or, of course, Doug being bad at 2D platformers. And I've been with Doug for a long time. I watched him back when he focused solely on those playing games with only your voice challenge videos.
Damn!
I've seen him play 2D platformers on many occasions. Now, a big part of the joke is that it's very much in contention, where Doug constantly claims that he's good at platformer games and tries to do bigger and bigger things to prove it, only to fall short while the rest of chat claims their grandmother's ashes fell over and just completed a jump that he failed. Is Doug bad at 2D platformers?
What is going on here? Oh.
Yes, he is. But is he really?
What are you talking about, man? What are you doing here?
Great point, me!
Fuck! Why isn't he closer? He should be farther to the left. All these levels suck ass.
Great point!
Yes, he is.
No,
but
he's not.
I want to actually see the numbers behind it. I mean, if the believers are the flat earthers of the DougDoug community, then where's the harm in finding the science,
I gotta be honest with you. It feels real bad to fail a jump while watching this video. It feels real bad.
To get the numbers behind whether Doug is bad at 2D platformers and why, or maybe even learn along the way that we're the wrong one. Oh, fuck. Wrong ones. The other category used to weed out the more bullshit deaths to better determine his actual skill is was DougDoug distracted, which is meant to weed out those times when things outside of the game distracted him, like a really weird TTS message, the code breaking, something with the challenge, or just other circumstances that aren't within the game and thus shouldn't be used to determine his skill. By using these, we can have both a total death counter and a pure death counter that determines his actual skill. Deniialism is anything Doug says shortly before or after a death, which I chart to see just how often he blames the game, versus the times when he actually admits fault in a death, versus just saying beans really loudly.
Beans.
I'm actually curious to see the results of this data.
DougDoug as a player is generally a rather impatient one, especially if he has made progress before. On the first attempt, he'll almost clear the area completely, only to die near the end, and then die 50 times consecutively to the same area because he just wants to rush back to where he was. This is what games does Doug die to the most. See, I tried to gather a decent amount of variety, but another problem is that Doug doesn't really play that many 2D platformers on stream. He mostly just plays Mario Maker, and of course, Celeste came out on top with a total of 334 pure deaths. Mario Maker, despite appearing in 4 whole streams, only had 168 pure deaths.
That sounded good.
We have Spelunky 2, which seems to make sense, given that it's a game that DougDoug has admitted to playing outside of the streams a lot, enough to be decently good at it, only playing it explicitly during the pacifist Spelunky challenge. But Spelunky 2 has 13 pure deaths, which actually puts it at the second best performance. The fewest deaths.
I am good at Spelunky 2.
Because I need to be honest with you, and hold your hand while I say this, Doug is kind of cracked at Metroidvanias. See, when I first planned to do this video, I knew for certain I'd include at least one Silksong stream, because Hollow Knight and Silksong are decently hard games, especially Silksong, and I had played these streams of DougDoug trying to beat Silksong in one death in the background, and had it in my mind that he died quite a few times during it. But I figured that I should, for this, watch through the final stream of DougDoug beating Silksong. I figured that in my mind, this would give Doug an easier score, because he'd have tried the challenge multiple times, and thus there'd be a more average number of deaths and him succeeding at the end. So you can imagine my surprise when upon rewatching the final Silksong stream, he didn't die once the entire go, and didn't even realize it. He first shotted Silksong.
Sounds pretty good to me!
I had to go back a stream, and I thought, surely he dies a bunch here. Like, I remember him dying like 6 to 8 times. 3! He only died 3 times.
So you're saying I'm just playing the wrong game? What if I'm amazing at 2D platformers and bad at Mario, and that's the only thing I'm bad at?
It seems to do more with the inherent difference between 2D platformers and 2D Metroidvanias. But to explain why DougDoug has better time with one over the other, let's explain this with food. Hi, this is Cut, where we solve problems that only I have.
Okay, I'm giving up. I'm just gonna watch the video. I can't focus on both these things. I want to actually reply to some of these things, and I cannot multitask at all. Sorry, believers, I screwed you. I'm sorry. That one doesn't count for any of the data, by the way, because I was distracted and chat, and I'm not wearing my glasses. I want to rewatch from Metroidvania, because, like, the Metroidvania angle is very unintuitive to me.
So, like, imagine you're a chef, right? And you're making chocolate chip cookies. And you're pretty okay at making chocolate chip cookies. And you make the dough, and as you progress with making these cookies, you get to have a few chocolate chips on the side, from the bag, and you're having a good time, right? But then the head chef comes in, and he's like, hey man, I've got an order from table 3, and they want like a loaded potato skin, and loaded potato skins are kind of maybe like cookies if you squint at it and take off your driving glass.
Okay, I was trying to follow this analogy while playing Mario. I'm watching the analogy without playing Mario, and I don't understand this so far.
And then they slap down 50 potatoes and give you a bingo board. And you don't have those chocolate chips anymore to motivate you because all you have are chives now. So you're sitting there crying with a mouthful of chives, cutting potatoes, and failing at bingo. And then there's just some guy in the corner saying you're like bald at making 2D potato formers and something about gambling. And then there's this other guy throwing $3 to your face every few seconds, yelling about Gump and Kyoto. And you're just kind of trying to hold it together, and you're making these stupid potato skins so you can go home to your dead-end apartment crying to yourself like, I am.
Wait, what does this have to do?
I am, I swear I am.
What is that? Hold on. I don't understand what that explained. How did that clarify Metroidvania versus anything else? The joke is that it's your stream, but that doesn't, I don't understand the difference.
Machine that throws a chocolate chip into your mouth every time you explore the house for a new ingredient or something, because it's with these special abilities that you are then rewarded and can then use them in these non-linear, decently open world areas
So,
that can be backtracked and explored, often rewarding you for exploration and finding secrets. Mario Maker does not do this. They just slap 50 potatoes on you, and you don't know if they're gonna have chocolate chips or not, because putting chocolate chips in a potato generally sucks. And
You
it's
just
not
don't
very
know
good.
what is
You
going to
should
happen.
not eat that. And with what Doug shows of his lack of patience with more traditional platformers, it's pretty clear that Doug needs to constantly feel like they're making progress in chocolate chips, rather than things like the bingo or the rapid-fire levels of Mario Maker where you don't get a shiny new toy to play with.
Clear progress does click way better with my brain. That's a fair point.
All the controls right from the jump, and in many levels you're just not allowed to use any of them. Or you can use them, but if you don't do it in a way 100% identical to not using it, then you get a bad Yelp review taped to your
Jingling keys equals success. I think that I have identified this, I think even last stream, which is that when I learn things, I take a while to learn a thing. And then once I'm familiar with it, I get better very rapidly. But if I do Mario Maker, where every level is like totally insane in its own unique way, then I'm going to be horrible at it compared to a Metroidvania where I like know the route and I just have to execute. That's how learning works. But I think I'm more pronounced than the average person. Smarter, really.
or just in general, it just isn't clear the exact tool they want you to jam in there. So instead, your boss is just pelting you with potatoes and chives, and you don't even like potatoes because they lack flavor or something. Then every now and then you get like a really delicious one, and you assume it's because of the potato. When in reality, it's not because someone slipped and put a cookie in the machine, but because of like a sweet potato casserole or a naturally sweet type of
I'm
potato.
lost on
You're
the
still not
analogy.
getting the chocolate chips because that's not how the genre works.
I might be bad at 2D food analogies. The point of having different things thrown in every time, I think, is absolutely valid.
Doug's enjoyment in games that reward good smooth movement. And you could especially see this with the specific types of Mario Maker levels that have him glide through with constant movement. He's good at those levels because they
Hyrule.
encourage speeding through, and rather than punishing a lack of patience like what's more typical of the platforming genre.
Good
Doug
point.
is bad at 2D platformers because he doesn't like 2D platformers. Now, of course, the only problem with this is, then what's the deal with Spelunky? Especially with the pacifist challenge, that's a game that punishes going too fast and not thinking things through. A recipe that usually ends in disaster for him, as we've seen with other platformers he's played. Unfortunately, there just isn't an explainable answer outside of Doug just being good at Spelunky being an outlier in the data. How many times total has Doug died?
I guess it's maybe 2? This is over 10 streams, right? 10 streams. It included Hollow Knight. It included Celeste. Celeste has a lot of rapid deaths. Celeste probably had, what, like 200 total? Mario Maker, every Mario Maker stream, I probably died 3 times total. What were all the streams? There's Grapple Dog. There's other games. I'm going to guess 983. No, that's too much. Even in a Mario Bingo run, I'm only going to die like 20 total times. And that each run takes like an hour. So it's probably 100 per stream. 613.
740 times.
Okay.
That is a lot of dead Dougs. However, let's shear those deaths from when he got distracted or was given a bullshit level. Our pure death total brings us down to 548 deaths.
Okay, closer to what I was saying.
With this, we can calculate that when Doug
Does the Hitler porn incident count as a death? I don't know what you're talking about, and no.
dies in the average 2D platformer, it is Doug's fault approximately 75% of the time.
Hold on. It's approximately 74% of the time.
With only 1 in every 4 deaths being due to
No, it's approximately 26%. That's not 1 in every 4. I'm going to file a formal complaint.
unfair circumstances or distractions. As such, it's safe to say that Doug is not good at 2D platformers. But
We need to compare it to... Okay.
is 75% bad
There we go.
at 2D platformers,
Because no, it's not. Not for... No.
though?
I'm not killing people. I'm not doing anything crazy. Just me playing good 2D platformers.
Yeah.
I think we need a sample size. We need to get other streamers to do the exact streams that I did, and also have lived the exact life that I've lived up to this point and played exactly the same amount of 2D platformers off stream. Only then is the data valid. Also, it's 76%, 74.
Total of 351 repeat deaths, meaning of any death coming from DougDoug, there's a 47.3% chance it's a repeat death of a section he already died to.
Yeah, that's probably not good.
That's nearly a coin flip, and that's comparing it to the total of all of DougDoug's deaths, too. The number one cause of this begins with the Grapple Dog stream during the Celeste section, in the 7th room of Dream Ultra B-side.
I don't even remember
which is probably
Grapple Dog.
the second worst thing to happen to him.
Because of a certain other thing that happened. I literally do not remember a thing about Grapple Dog. That's not a joke. That feels like unfair data. You correctly identified that certain data should maybe be not considered to the same degree because of external factors, and I think the fact that I just showed Hitler porn on stream is a emotionally destabilizing force where we can invalidate it.
With room 7 being near the end of B-side is a pretty okay close off to the section, especially given that for the rest of the B-side, he died a total of 27 times when combining all prior rooms. However,
good.
when he gets to here, he dies repeatedly from the 2-hour 55-minute mark all the way to the 3-hour 15 mark. And for 20 minutes straight, he dies 27 times in a row to the spikes alone. Reminder that this isn't counting him getting crushed, that's a separate death, and this isn't counting the sides. Those, as we established earlier, are separate deaths. I specifically mean these spikes at the bottom of these back-to-back sections. It gets so bad that he took the earlier gimmick of making his screen a silent film and reuses some old code that puts whatever he's saying on screen like those super old-timey comedies to this room alone.
That feels like that should invalidate it.
Nearly double of all of the prior rooms in this B-side combined, all to just these spikes. This death is caused many times by him dashing too early, causing him to not be able to dash through the blocks and be forced to fall and die here. And while I initially counted 2 of them as intentional deaths because he was forced to, even once he's done it multiple times or almost succeeded, he just keeps brute forcing it in this way.
I'll admit, that one sounds like me. I do that sometimes.
Despite the fact he should clearly know the timing by now. I even decided to boot up my own copy of Celeste, and despite having not played in nearly 6 years, when going to this room, I was able to beat this part in about 7 minutes and 30 seconds. And in just 18 deaths, despite counting anything that kills me in this section, not just the spikes. Through me going back to play it quickly becomes apparent that DougDoug's whole problem was that he made it needlessly complicated on himself. Whereas he seems to think that he has to do a dash jump every single time when that just isn't true. Just dash into the block and hold the...
Oh, sorry, I aim for high achievements. The incredible feats of heroism in 2D platforming.
Plus climb, and you're going to stay on it. Then
Doug is some sort of bad at 2D platformers hero.
in fact, the part that the majority of my deaths were on were over here at the top with this gem, meaning my actual number of deaths when considering only the ones that were repeats of Doug's death was only 6. And again, I hadn't played the game in nearly 6 years. Doug had not only had the whole rest of the level to practice before this part, but he also had completed the entirety of the game only 4 months prior for their beating Celeste, but if I die, an AI picks the punishment video.
Ooh, yeah,
so
right.
if I can do it as a person who's not only bad at platformers myself, but also hadn't picked up the game in 6 years, that should really tell you about Doug's capability.
Another way of putting all this is I'm like a guy with training weights on. Like I show up to the tennis court and I have 150 pounds of training weights. And then people are like, that's not what you do in tennis. And I'm like, look at how good I am at tennis. I'm doing it with the training weights. And then at some point I'm going to take them off and it's going to be really impressive. I'm in my training arc.
Doug died 14 times back to back in this bumper room found deep in chapter 6, from 3 hours and 9 minutes to 3 hours and 12. However, Doug can't blame the gimmick for holding him back or distracting him here, as the gimmick during this period was to ban or unban Flippin' 225 whenever he enters a room, which he of course wouldn't need to worry about until he actually passed this room. Lastly, from the Mario Maker bingo stream,
I only ever miss a jump 3 times.
he dies to this 9 times, by the way.
Training weights, all right, somehow.
And with that, we have the last thing I tracked, that being denialism.
That's not.
Denialism is anything Doug said shortly before or after dying, and in total, Doug had 272 denialisms, which I categorized into the following categories. Exclamation,
It's...
exploring what to do,
I really need a dash. What do I press to dash? I don't think I have it yet.
admitted fault,
Wow, that was so bad. I'm sorry for disappointing you as a new stream viewer with that horrible gameplay.
blames the game or level,
display
Why?
manager,
I don't
always
get it.
willing
I
to
don't
shell out
fucking get it.
advice,
This is
and had a knack
stupid.
for
This is a dumb
pipelining
level.
proof.
Okay, have we considered the percentage of how many times I'm right? And this is a stupid level.
Blames the controller.
The Joy-Con.
Great, another great point, by the way. Why would I even use the Sour Patch Kids controller for a Super Nintendo game?
That's not me. I didn't do that.
And lastly,
And I literally have the controller with Joy-Con drift. These aren't excuses if it's true. If someone shoots me with a gun in my stomach and then I show up to tennis and I'm wearing the training weights and people are like, oh my God, go to a hospital. I'm not bad at tennis because I stay there bleeding out and play really bad. It's impressive, really.
using this information, I created a pie chart charting what Doug is most likely to say if he speaks about a death. Obviously, exclamation takes a big piece of the pie at 67 quotes, or roughly 25% of all phrases, but following that, we have Doug blaming the game at 20%, and Doug admitting fault shortly behind at 18%.
It is
Exploration
bad,
or ask and
20%.
shout. I also created a chart analyzing the tone of these and found that nearly 40% of the times Doug is negative in some way.
No, no, no! I thought I just got my fucking impatient! God!
30% is neutral, 20% of the time is positive or otherwise placing blame on himself rather than the game being bad at its job, and the remaining 15% is just Doug being confused.
I think this is an accurate breakdown. If you play Mario Maker, this is the breakdown. 20% are good, 30% are fine, 40% are awful, 15% are genuinely confusing.
So, what does all of this mean? Well, first of all, DougDoug bad at 2D platformers. Secondly, DougDoug good at Metroidvanias and schmoovin' around.
Thank you.
Thirdly, Doug oddly thinks he's good at 2D platformers, despite the traits of the genre being the exact thing that give him so much trouble, which is kind of weird. Anyways, if you like this video, you may also enjoy my other video where I went through all of Magic the Noah's game shows to determine who he hates the most.
Where's that one true part? Editor, cut out the rest.
Doug is kind of cracked at Metroidvanias.
And that's going to play every time I beat a level in Mario. Look, I'm going to be honest. This is very, very interesting, and I appreciate you putting it together, Cut Cafe. I had never, literally ever, considered that there are certain ways that I play games, particularly platformers, that are like way below the average skill level, even if in other parts I'm cracked. Can we agree that Mario Maker skews the data? Because that game is insanity. Doug really thought he was good. Hold on. Cut Cafe, I have a proposal for you. I attempted to beat this game while watching your video, and I couldn't do that. And that's fair. We can all agree. That's a training weight. I was trying to think about the video and play the game. That's impossible. I think what we should agree on, though, is that I get one shot. I'm gonna have it, like, muted in the corner. If I beat the game before this video from the beginning plays, you have to write a pinned comment on the video that says, update, we've got new information. Doug is definitively good at 2D platformers. But if I don't, I have to put at the top and say a pinned comment that's like, you know what? I really didn't realize it before. I'm truly not good at 2D platformers. I will do this double or nothing. So each of us has to write that sentence twice. This is the most high stakes Mario run of my life, dude. And I'm playing epic music the whole time. I don't give a shit, believers.
Now finally, Doug is playing Mario with his life on the line.
By the way, that was a very well-made video. That was very fun. That was genuinely very entertaining. Is Doug better than this video?
Now that we have settled that you're bad at 2D platformers,
Not settled.
we need to discuss whether or not you lack critical thinking skills. Every time you do a challenge, you invariably come up with a strategy that handicaps you hard and then whine about it being rigged
Impressive.
when you literally
Really?
shoot
If you think
yourself
about
in
it.
the foot and never realize it.
Weird way of saying, wow, this guy's playing life on hard mode and he's still pretty good at it. Okay, ready, set, go. All right, that video's looking a little outdated. We're gonna have update on the Doug drama. I was wrong. YouTuber absolutely embarrassed when guy wearing really heavy weights plays tennis. Imagine, this is the one time ever where I lock the fuck in. I've never one-shot that level. Not once. Maybe I just needed to be negged. He's doping. This is making me genuinely think I'm really bad at Mario Maker. That's kind of my takeaway. Like, the game that I play by far the most on stream.
If you do this, I will never ever doubt again and will be sorry that I ever doubted. I believe in Dog.
I want you to know, and I mean this with 100% sincerity, I don't believe I'm gonna do this. But maybe, just maybe, that's been the problem the whole time. Maybe I need to, like, just watch my own failures, and then I realize I am locking the fuck in. I expect a formal apology from every commenter.
You believing you're good at 2D platformers when 99% of people around you tell you that you're bad at them, is like anti-vaxxers saying that vaccines cause autism despite everything pointing to that being factually incorrect.
I'm the anti-vaxxer who is right. Actually, that's not a good tagline.
I can't wait for when Doug beats this level and I become an anti-vaxxer.
Okay, what is happening? I'm playing the best I've ever played anything in my entire life. Like, what's going on?
I'd rather be called an anti-vaxxer than bad at 2D platformers. DougDoug.
True. Honestly, true. Okay, you have to admit, though, it'd be kind of hype if that video comes out and I watch it, and then everybody looks back and be like, it was the video that changed everything.
The video confirmed a theory I had for a while, Doug. You have the potential to be amazing at 2D platformers, but when any challenge requires absolutely any patience, no matter how simple you fail, you have it in you, Doug. Just take it slow.
I don't think that's possible. I live life at 60 miles an hour. No more, no less. Doesn't matter that I'm on a freeway and people want me to fucking hurry up. Why is everyone Christmas? Great question. Sorry, that fucked me up.
Doug, you're going 60 in a school zone. You have to slow down.
All
There are
right,
children
shut up.
about.
I'm exactly far enough ahead to beat the video. What? I feel like that was a perfect shell jump. Why? Buttons, please, for the love of God. Sour Patch Kids choose controller. Official Super Nintendo and 64 Sour Patch Kids licensed controller, please, for the love of God. I've learned my lesson.
This
is
is
the
the
end
time
of an
to
anime.
tell us if you shot
I'm the main
yourself and
character.
are bleeding all over the tennis court, Doug.
Why? Or is it not fucking working? I think they changed the game. I think they patched the Super Nintendo. Has Nintendo been updating the Nintendo consoles? Has that happened? Does anybody know if they just pushed a live update to the physics? No, the music's getting sad too. Stop. This had to be the run where I just get stuck on this spot for the longest of any run today.
Some dude came to my tennis club today covered in weights saying he was the best tennis player ever. He swung the racket, won, and collapsed in a puddle of his own sweat and urine.
And he did it a champion. You didn't say who won the tennis match. I assume he did.
You fought honorably, soldier, but you have lost. Admit your failures and be granted passage to Sovngarde.
All I can do now is one-shot this hard level so that people think he lost, but he lost in epic fashion. You should have seen the way he went out. Oh, I pressed the button! It's not my fault! It's Sour Patch Kid's fault! It's somebody else's fault. It's not because of me.
You know what? Maybe I shouldn't have believed after watching a video explaining how bad you are at 2D platformers. That's on me.
Yeah, but that's probably... Why didn't that fucking work? I hit the fucking button. Are they patching the game?
It's okay, Doug. I'm not good at 2D platformers either. You're just like me.
No, I'm not. The fact that it was the best run I've ever done by far, I just fucking knew it. That video got in my head. It was like, there's gonna be a part that I'm gonna get stuck at, and I knew it. And then I got there, and I just could feel the sand slipping between my fingertips. Oh, every keystroke hurts.